I bet this is the angriest you've seen Pete Hegseth. He sure didn't leave them till he gave them an earful.
Hello, Mr. Secretary.
Yeah. There's a reason the president calls out fake news for what it is. These pilots, these refuelers, these fighters, these air defenders, the skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people and the world to take out a nuclear program is beyond what anyone in this audience can fathom. And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons, to try to hurt President Trump or our country. They don't care what the troops think. They don't care what the world thinks. They want to spin it to try to make him look bad based on a leak. Of course, we've all seen plenty of leakers. And what do leakers do? They have agendas. And what do? Do they share the whole information or just the part that they want to introduce? And when they introduce that preliminary report that's deemed to be a low assessment, you know what a low assessment means? Low confidence in the data in that report. And why is there low confidence? Because all of the evidence of what was just bombed by 12 30,000-pound bombs is buried under a mountain, devastated and obliterated. So if you want to make an assessment of what happened at Fordo, you better get a big shovel.
Apart from losing the trust of the public, the mainstream media have gone lower to belittle the efforts of the Air Force men and women by intentionally putting out the wrong damage assessment report, and just like Hegseth said, all in a bid to give Donald Trump a bad name. Well, there have been calls for immediate sanctions for those news stations, surely one of the most unpatriotic acts of the legacy media.
And go really deep, because Iran's nuclear program is obliterated. And somebody somewhere is trying to leak something to say, oh, with low confidence, we think maybe it's moderate. Those that dropped the bombs precisely in the right place know exactly what happened when that exploded. And you know who else knows? Iran. That's why they came to the table right away, because their nuclear capabilities have been set back beyond what they thought were possible because of the courage of a commander-in-chief who led our troops, despite what the fake news wants to say.
But you're not disputing the report said what it said, even though it was initial.
The report said what it said, and it was fine. It was severe, they think, but they had no idea. They shouldn't have issued a report until they did, but we've gotten the information. I think Pete said it better than you can say it. And you know, you should be proud, you, especially you, should be proud of those pilots, and you shouldn't be trying to demean them.
No, there's
those pilots flew at great risk, a big chance that they'd never come back home and see their husbands or their wives. Let me just tell you, you and NBC, fake news, which is one of the worst, and CNN, New York Times, are all bad. They're sick. There's something wrong with them.
Truly, Donald Trump can do nothing right by the left and the mainstream media. However, the recent seamless military action in Iran was one for the books, and indeed a show of shame for anyone to try to talk down on the servicemen and women who flew 36 hours to keep America and the world safe from depraved minds. Well, folks, please let me know what you all think in the comment section, and please do well to like, share, comment, and turn on your post notification bell. And please do also subscribe. Until our next clip, keep staying sensible. Peace, fam.